Good morning, boys and girls. Today, we're going to be looking at comparing fractions. This is an easy review for you guys because you have seen this before. As you notice, our objective is to show understanding of comparing fractions by completing the form correctly. If you're seeing this video, it's because you found you were shown the Google form to work on. Okay? All right, here we go. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Don't worry, I'm fine. Now, here's your fast practice. In this fast practice, I want you to finish as much as you can in 1 minute. All right, I am going to trust you. I'm going to set my timer, and it will go it'll go for 1 minute. Get ready, get set, go. You guys have almost done, and here we go. You're done. Okay, let's quickly go through some of this work. See how you guys did. First one, 3 times 7. Well, I got 21. Then 5 times 5, 25. 9 times 2, 18. 2 times 1, 2. 1 times 8, 8. 2 times 8, 16. 8 times 9, 72. 9 times 3, can you do it faster than me? 27. 8 times 3, 24. 6 times 2, 12. 3 times 6, 18. 5 times 5, 25. 8 times 2, 16. 4 times 2, 8. 7 times 8. Ooh, is this 56? Yes, it is. 1 times 7, 7. 5 times 1, 5. 9 times 2, 18. 5 times 2, 10. And again, 8 times 2, 16. We've seen that one before. Okay, good work. That's just a little quick fast practice. We need to get back in the habit of this one, guys. We have been out of that habit. Okay, now we're looking at comparing fractions. A little bit of review work. First off, we're going to take a look at our vocabulary. Now, if you look at our vocabulary, the first word we want to talk about is numerator. So, we're going to start by asking, looking at our fraction over here, this one here, what is the numerator? By the way, the fraction, of course, can you say it with me? 5/6. Say it again. 5/6. Okay. Now, if you got it with me, you should have understood that the numerator is the top number right there. But what does numerator mean? I mean, we can say this stuff all the time, but if we don't know what it means, we make mistakes. So numerator is what I like to call what we count. It's what we One more time, it's what we count. In other words, of all the pieces, it's the pieces that we actually count. You might have said something like, oh, it's the shaded ones. That's true. But it's only if we make a picture of it. Shaded ones. Now, that was pretty easy. Numerator is what we count, shaded ones. Can the numerator be bigger than the denominator? Oops, I just told you what the denominator is. We'll talk about that one afterwards. I'll leave that question alone. I'm going to write it down as a note. Can this be bigger than this? Okay. Now we're going into the other number, our denominator. What is the denominator? Well, there's only one other choice, and obvious enough, it's the bottom number. But what does it mean, denominator? Well, it's this. If you remember, I said this is how many make a whole. It could mean a whole shape or a whole group. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's take a look at the picture of it. Okay, so we're down here now. What does the fraction look like? We're going to start by drawing it. So I'm going to draw a square. Sorry, a rectangle. I keep saying square when I draw rectangles. This is really important. I know some of you guys, some of you boys and girls, you practice with making circles for fractions, but circle fractions, well, they're harder to make sure they're exactly the same amount, okay? And it's not always as easy to divide them up. So this is the best method. Now, as said, we need to first cut it up into pieces. That's what fractions are, pieces of a whole. In fact, I'll even make a note of that one. Okay, so there's pieces of a whole. Now I'm going to cut up into, because as we said, we're looking at the denominator, this number. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut it up. Don't stop me. You can't stop me. There we go. Not perfect, but pretty close. Now, let's see, as we said before, we talked about the numerator, what we count, the shaded ones. We're only counting 5 of them. So I'm only going to color in 5 of them. I'm going to use blue. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? 5 pieces. That's showing that's exactly how many we're actually looking at. We're not looking at that other one by itself, the one that's not colored. Not important. In fact, I'll make a note. Not important. Okay, now, next one. So now we're talking about the idea of comparing fractions. One of the details I should have made a point of earlier when I was talking to the Zoom meeting was what symbols we're talking about here. When we use comparing, we're using this guy, and this one. We have, if I read it right, I'd say something, A, is less than, let me use a different color, guys. Less than B. Okay, so A is less than B. Here I'd say A is, well, what do you think? Hopefully you're thinking greater than. So A is greater than B. Okay? And of course, you know that this means equals. That's easy. Okay, so we need to look at these fractions. We have 3/8 and 5/8. What would we say? Would we say it's 3/8 is less than, 3/8 is greater than, or 3/8 is equal? Well, one of the ways we can solve this, of course, is by doing the old drawing. I went with this one first, even though I told you guys don't do this. I still went with circles. So I'm making a circle here and dividing it up. If you remember it, I'm looking at the denominator, not the numerator. Denominator is what number? 8. Good. So I cut them to 8 pieces, and squiggly line. Oh well. I color in. How many pieces do I color in? 3. I hope you said. There we go. That's 1, 2, 3 pieces. Okay. Next one. Hey, other side. We got to do this one. Again, same idea. I cut up into 8 pieces. Little squiggly line again, not the best straightest line. And again, I'm coloring. How many pieces do I color? Hopefully you said 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you weren't sure, now you know for sure which one's the bigger fraction, just by looking at the top number. That top number, because the denominator is exact same, meaning there's still 8 pieces need to be colored, I know that since these are the same here, all I have to do is look at this one, those two numerators. And I know for a fact that this one is bigger. Okay? So 3/8 is less than 5/8. Let's use that proper vocabulary. 3/8 is less than 5/8. All right. Let's move on to the next page. So here's your job. Your turn. I want you to compare these fractions. Use your notebook to decide which fraction is bigger. I'm going to read them to you. 2/6, 4/6. If it helps you, draw a picture of it. I'm going to give you exactly, let's make it this time, only 30 seconds to pick which fraction is bigger. And clock starts now. You have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 1. Sorry about the bad counting, but hey, time's up. Okay, so hopefully you guys understood that, well, if you weren't sure, but you took a chance and you tried to go with the idea that 4/6 is bigger. Because again, looking at that top number, since the denominators are the same, the top number is what matters. And just to check our work, oops, I colored too much on that one. 2/6 on that side, and on this side we're going to go with 4/6 here. Pretty easy. So, 2/6, 4/6. Pretty basic idea. And that's actually rather easy, those. Comparing fractions of the same denominator is, let's be honest, easy to do. Now we're looking at the fractions have the same numerator, but now it's different in the denominator. Okay, a little bit harder. So, just like last time, I like to start by starting by cutting it up. So here, 2/6. This one here, I'm going to draw it and cut it. I'm going to cut it up. 1, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Cut it up. There's my 6 pieces. Here, a little bit easier. I find my halfway point here. Find my halfway point here. Okay, now I'm just going to color them in. I only color in 2 on this side. Okay, and I only color in, well, 2 on the other side. Just by looking at them, I'm pretty sure that this is much, much bigger. Let's take my little highlighter color here. Look at that. Look at this one. The boxes are the same. The big rectangles are exactly the same amount. So, but by how I split it up, how I cut it up into different denominator numbers, the sizes are actually much different. 6 pieces, if I only have 2 of them, it's definitely much smaller than 2/4. Look at that difference. That is obviously different. So one of the things to remember when you're doing this work, if you're confused, draw it. And use rectangles. Okay? Rectangles just make it easier to show it. Okay. Let's do a little bit of practice work over here. So, compare the following fractions. Well, in this case, we're looking at 1/4 and 1/8. So, what do we say is 1/4 greater than, 1/4 equal to, or 1/4 less than? Well, I would definitely have to say it's greater than. Think how many pieces are. This is much bigger. Each piece is much bigger. So a quick little note to you guys. That's fourths. Look how much bigger each piece would be than eighth. Okay, next one. Number 2. Compare the following fractions. 2/6 and 1/6. Well, here if I notice, those denominators are the same. Whoa, that's really big. Those denominators are the same. Well, that means that if they're the same, we definitely understand that all we have to look at is the numerator. Okay, I'm going to wait for you guys. All right, did you say they're equal? I hope not. Did you say you didn't say they're equal. Did you say they're great? 2/6 is greater than? Yes? Good. 2/6 is greater than. Okay, number 3. This one's a little bit easier. The models below have the same size whole. In other words, if you look, this rectangle and this rectangle are exactly the same size. Okay? We have to decide which one's the greater, 7/8 or 5/8. So which symbol correctly goes for it? Is it greater than, less than, or equal to? You should have picked 7/8 is greater than. Okay? Now, last one. Oh, look at this. Again, the denominators are the same. Oh my gosh. Denominators are the same. That's so easy. Okay, so that means, in other words, where are you going to look? You're going to be looking at the numerator. So our choices are, again, A, is it less than? Is it B, equal to? Or C, greater than? Hopefully you picked greater than. 7/8 is greater than 3/8. Okay, I hope you did well on this quick little practice at the end. Your job. There is a quick, this links straight to the Google form that I made for you guys. So make sure you're practicing it and checking your answers afterwards. Okay, I look forward to seeing how you did. Bye-bye, guys.